Ladies and gentlemen, grab your popcorn, your sweet tea, and maybe a helmet, because hip-hop just turned into a battlefield, and the bombs are exploding left and right. 50 Cent, the king of trolling, the emperor of pettiness, the man who once bought out entire concert rows just to clap back at Ya Rule is back at it again. And this time, his target isn't just some washed-up rival. Nope, he's dragging none other than Big Meech, the legendary BMF boss, straight into the mud. Why? Because Lil Meech's scandal just leaked. And trust me, this ain't your average TMZ headline. This thing has the streets whispering, the blogs foaming at the mouth, and fans clutching their pearls like they just found out Santa isn't real. When I tell you 50 didn't just throw shade. He launched a whole solar eclipse, believe me. This feud makes the Kardashians look like a yoga retreat. And it's messier than Future's family tree. We're talking betrayal, egos, power plays, and enough clapbacks to fuel the internet for weeks. So buckle up. Because the beef between 50 Cent and Big Meech just went from simmer to nuclear, and once you hear this, you'll understand why hip-hop may never recover when it comes to drama. 50 Cent doesn't just dip his toe and he cannonballs into the deep end, splashing everybody within a 5-mile radius. And this time, the fallout landed right in the lap of Big Meech, the man whose name alone carries weight heavier than a Rick Ross buffet plate. But thanks to Lil Meech's scandal leaking into the streets, that legacy just caught some smoke and 50 Cent was the first to light the match. Now, let's rewind. For those of you who somehow missed the memo, Big Meech is the founder of BMF, Black Mafia Family, the legendary crew that turned the early 2000s into a real-life gangster movie. We're talking millions flowing, cars dripping in candy paint, and billboards so big you'd think Atlanta was running ads for Scarface too. This wasn't just street hustle, it was empire building. And when 50 Cent decided to turn Meech's life into a star's drama, BMF, it wasn't just TV, it was cultural history being remixed with Hollywood lighting. Enter Lil Meech, Big Meech's son, cast to play his father in the series. Sounds poetic, right? Legacy on the screen, the next generation stepping into the spotlight. But baby, reality doesn't care about poetry. Because when Lil Meech's scandal hit the internet, it didn't just shake the show, it rattled the entire foundation. What was the scandal? Let's just say the internet had screenshots, receipts, and enough side-eye emojis to crash Twitter. Depending on which blog you trust, Lil Meech was caught in situations that screamed messy enough to make fans wonder if he was starring in Love and Hip Hop instead of BMF. Whether it was cheating rumors, leaked DMs, or those infamous caught-on-camera moments, the streets weren't forgiving. And once the internet smells blood, it doesn't just bite, it devours. Cue 50 Cent. Because if there's one thing we know about Curtis Petty King Jackson, it's that he doesn't miss a chance to turn someone else's L into his own W. While fans were still processing the Lil Meech leak, 50 hopped online with his trademark smirk and started tossing subliminals that weren't really subliminals at all. Think of it like getting roasted at a barbecue, but the roaster has a microphone, a platform, and 30 million followers egging him on. His posts dripped with sarcasm, jokes about teaching young Meech the right way, memes implying the scandal was proof that not everyone can handle the spotlight, and captions sharp enough to slice through steel. And trust me, when 50 Cent drags you, it's not just shade, it's a whole thunderstorm with hail the size of egos. But here's where it gets nuclear. Fans started reading between the lines, and suddenly it wasn't just about Lil Meech, it was about Big Meech, the legend, the father, the man whose reputation built the foundation for everything his son is standing on. 50's commentary started sounding less like tough love and more like digs at the Meech empire itself. Some fans even accused him of low-key disrespecting Big Meech by using Lil Meech's scandal as ammo, and that's when the whispers began. Was 50 Cent really dragging the son? Or was this his way of dragging the father? Did 50 just break the unwritten rule of hip-hop, never disrespect the Ogs? The reactions were instant and volcanic. Twitter lit up like a Christmas tree on fire. Half the fans screamed, 50's just keeping it real. Somebody had to say it. The other half clapped back with, nah, he's crossing the line. You don't play with Big Meech's name like that. Instagram flooded with side-by-side edits of 50 Cent's petty posts next to Big Meech's iconic photos. And the captions were savage. From power to powerless real quick. Even blogs jumped in with headlines spicier than hot wings at a M. 50 Cent turns Lil Meech's L into a Big Meech problem. Curtis Jackson vs. The Legacy of BM. And my personal favorite. When petty goes too far, did 50 just poke the dragon? Meanwhile, Lil Meech himself couldn't catch a break. Every attempt he made to defend himself turned into another meme. Fans roasted his explanations like they were comedy specials. Someone even dubbed his response over Michael Jordan's infamous "I took that personally" meme. The internet was merciless, and 50 Cent was adding fuel like he owned the gas station. And here's the kicker. The BM show itself started catching strays. Fans questioned whether the drama behind the scenes would affect the future of the series. Would viewers still tune in knowing the lead actor was now the face of scandal? Would Big Meech's approval of the show waver if his son's name kept getting dragged through the mud? Suddenly, what started as a personal scandal had the potential to spiral into a Hollywood disaster. But this is 50 Cent we're talking about. He thrives in chaos the way fish thrive in water. And instead of letting the scandal simmer down, he kept stirring it, laughing all the way to his Instagram bank. The fans ate it up, the blogs ran wild, and the feud between 50 Cent and the BM legacy had officially been born. Because here's the truth. When 50 Cent drags someone, he doesn't just pull them into the dirt, he drags their entire circle, their history, and their reputation right behind them. And for Big Meech, a man who built his empire on respect and loyalty, that kind of public shade wasn't just petty, it was war. And this, my friends, was only the beginning of the battlefield. If you thought 50 Cent's first round of trolling was bad, buckle up because the petty Olympics had just started. And Curtis Jackson was sprinting like Usain Bolt with a grudge. What began as a few memes about Lil Meech's scandal turned into an all-out circus, with celebrities, fans, and even hip-hop legends picking sides like it was the NBA Finals. The moment 50 dropped his first jabs, social media turned into a courtroom. Exhibit A? Screenshots of Lil Meech's leaked messages plastered everywhere from Twitter timelines to Facebook indie groups. Exhibit B? 50 Cent's captions dripping with sarcasm, being screenshotted faster than you could refresh. And Exhibit C? The comment section's absolute chaos. It wasn't just fans chiming in, it was celebrities adding gasoline to the fire. First up, Rick Ross. Because you knew if there was even a sliver of opportunity to poke at 50, Rosa was gonna show up like a group on Coupon Loud, unnecessary, but always on time. Rick slid into the chat with thinly veiled shade, laughing emojis under fan posts, and one cryptic line about real bosses don't play with family legacies. Subtle, no entertaining? Absolutely. Fans immediately translated it into Ross is siding with Big Meech. Then came Boozy Badaz, the unofficial mayor of messy Instagram lives. Boozy went live for 20 minutes straight, chain swinging, cigarette dangling, saying, "Man, 50 need to chill. You don't play with Meech like that." He even threw in his signature "he out of pocket" rant, which, of course, instantly became a meme. Twitter users paired his rant with clips of 50 smirking in interviews, and suddenly it was a viral back and forth between two people who weren't even in the same room. But wait, it didn't stop there. Even the Love and Hip Hop crew got involved. Carly Red dropped a shady Insta story with the caption, "Not 50 dragging legends," while Young Jog joked on his radio show that 50 Cent had turned BM into Big Meme Family, savage, and because the internet has zero chill. TikTok creators jumped on the wave with skits reenacting the scandal. One viral clip had a guy dressed as 50 Cent holding puppet strings labeled Lil Meech, while another guy dressed as Big Meech's mugshot tried to cut them with scissors. The comments section flooded with 50 controlling the narrative again. But here's where it twisted even deeper. Fans started digging up old interviews. Suddenly, clips resurfaced of 50 Cent bragging about his connection to BM, sitting next to Big Meech's name like he was the unofficial spokesman. And then, side by side, people paired those clips with the new posts where he shaded Lil Meech. The question became louder. Was 50 Cent exploiting the BMF legacy instead of honoring it? And folks weren't whispering it anymore, they were shouting it. Think of it like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Except instead of Iron Man and Captain America beefing, it's 50 Cent versus a ghostly aura of Big Meech's street empire. The fans? Oh, they were the audience at Civil War, picking their teams. Team 50 said, "He's just keeping it real. No one's safe when they fumble." Team Meech said, "This ain't a storyline. This is real life, don't disrespect the architect." Meanwhile, Lil Meech's attempts to clap back looked shaky at best. His statements felt like trying to put out a forest fire with a water gun. Every time he posted, 50 doubled down. Lil Meech wrote, "I'm focused on the show. Y'all stay out my business." Within hours, 50 responded with a meme of a baby holding a pacifier, captioned, "When they say they focused, but still crying, brutal." And fans ate it up like Popeye's chicken sandwiches during that chaotic 2019 craze. The energy was pure chaos, and 50 was thriving. At this point, even unrelated celebrities couldn't resist tossing in their 2 cents. Academics dedicated entire streams to the feud, calling it the most entertaining drama since Kanye vs. Pete Davidson. Snoop Dogg dropped a cryptic laughing emoji under a Shade Room post, which sent fans spiraling into conspiracy theories about whether he was siding with 50. And don't even get me started on Charlemagne. God, he practically begged for the feud to escalate live on The Breakfast Club, saying, "This is hip-hop Game of Thrones, we need more episodes." But the craziest twist, fans started speculating whether 50 Cent was using Lil Meech's scandal as promo for the next season of BMF. Yeah, you heard that right. People claim the leaks, the memes, the dragging it was all a chess move. Because let's face it, if there's anyone crazy enough to turn a real-life scandal into free marketing, it's 50 Cent. He doesn't need billboards when he has Instagram. And then came the ultimate troll. 50 posted a photo of himself holding a contract with the caption, "New role open for BMF. Who wants it? Auditions start tomorrow." The internet went insane. Was he serious? Was Lil Meech about to be replaced on his own father's story? Probably not, but the damage was done. Fans now debated not just about the scandal, but about whether Lil Meech would survive the show. Big Meech's supporters started flooding timelines with #RespectMeech hashtags. Old BMF affiliates popped up in interviews defending the legacy, warning folks not to cross the line. And every time the fire seemed like it might die down, 50 strolled in like Smokey the Bear's evil twin, tossing another match. This wasn't just a feud anymore, it was hip-hop's newest obsession. It had everything: scandal, family legacy, street history, and the petty king of social media weaponizing memes like nukes. Fans couldn't look away, blogs couldn't stop posting, and the culture itself felt split down the middle, because when 50 Cent drags you, it's not a weekend of jokes. It's a saga. It's a season. It's a Netflix-level cliffhanger that leaves you begging for the next episode. And as the smoke thickened, one question burned brighter than all the memes, jokes, and lives combined. What would Big Meech himself say about all this? By the time the smoke started clearing, the feud between 50 Cent and Big Meech's orbit wasn't just a beef anymore, it was a cultural earthquake. Fans weren't asking if the damage was real, they were asking how deep the scars went. And let me tell you, the aftershocks were rattling harder than a Nicki Minaj fanbase argument on Twitter. First up, Lil Meech. The poor guy went from being the rising star of BMF to the punchline of 50 Cent's Instagram feed. Every step he made after the leak felt like walking on glass. His name wasn't just attached to his acting anymore, it was stapled to scandal. Casting directors, sponsors, and even casual fans now looked at him sideways, wondering, is he a serious actor or just a kid caught up in his dad's shadow? Worse yet, the more Lil Meech tried to rebuild, the more 50 pushed back. Anytime Lil Meech posted something positive, a motivational quote, a workout video, a promo for the show, 50 came storming in with memes, captions, and sly digs. It was like watching a heavyweight boxer jabbing a rookie who couldn't block. Fans laughed, sure, but the professional consequences were no joke. Meanwhile, Big Meech's name, once untouchable in street legend lore, was suddenly back in headlines for reasons nobody in his circle wanted. Old associates started stepping up, doing interviews, saying things like, "Meech don't deserve this disrespect." Podcasts lit up with heated debates. Was 50 Cent carrying the BM story forward, or was he exploiting it for clout and cash? Some argued 50 was honoring Meech's story by putting it on stars. Others said dragging Lil Meech in public crossed a sacred line. And then there was the media circus. Outlets like TMZ, Shade Room, Hollywood Unlocked, they had a field day. Every post about the feud racked up thousands of comments. Memes spread faster than a Chris Brown comeback. One viral photo even compared 50 Cent to Thanos, snapping his fingers and erasing Meech's reputation with a smirk. But let's not forget the streets. The legacy of BM isn't just entertainment, it's real history, tied to money, power, and respect. When 50 crossed that line from playful trolling to dragging family business, people in the know started speaking up. Rumors swirled about calls being made behind the scenes. Was 50 pushing too far? Could this backfire? Suddenly, the joke wasn't just a joke anymore, it was a cultural wound. Yet, somehow, 50 Cent thrived in the middle of it all. Because if there's one thing Curtis Jackson knows how to do, it's flip chaos into currency. His Instagram numbers spiked, BM show ratings jumped, and every headline with his name in it only fueled his brand. He had officially turned a messy scandal into primetime marketing, and whether you loved it or hated it, you couldn't deny the genius. The aftermath, though, left casualties. Lil Meech's credibility took a beating. Big Meech's legacy, once pristine in its mythic aura, was now entangled with internet drama. Rick Ross used the feud as another weapon to jab at 50, and every time Ross got involved, the blogs amplified it. And the fans? They were exhausted but addicted, because drama this juicy doesn't come around every day. But here's the kicker. The feud also revealed something deeper about hip-hop today. Back in the day, beefs played out in lyrics and tracks. Pac vs. Biggie, Nas vs. Jay. Today, it's memes, IG captions, and TikToks. 50 Cent wasn't just clowning Lil Meech, he was rewriting the rulebook on how feuds unfold in the social media era. Forget diss tracks now, it's about who can make the funniest, most viral drag, and that's exactly why the aftermath hit so hard. Because behind the laughs, the memes, and the clapbacks, this wasn't just entertainment, it was legacy warfare. The BM name isn't some casual storyline. For many, it's sacred history. For 50, it's a brand to sell. That collision of perspectives? That's what left the culture should.by the time the dust settled. The landscape looked different. Lil Meech was scrambling to prove himself again. Big Meech's supporters doubled down on guarding his reputation. And 50 Cent? He sat back with a cigar, probably planning his next troll move, knowing he had the culture dancing to his beat once again. But one question lingered like smoke in the air. Would this beef fizzle out? Or had 50 opened a wound too deep to heal? Fans speculated about possible retaliation. Some swore the feud would end in another viral clapback battle. Others whispered darker possibilities, warning that real-life consequences could spill out from internet games. The irony? 50 Cent had managed to do what he always does, make himself the center of the story. Lil Meech's scandal started the fire, but 50 poured gasoline, lit the match, and sold tickets to the bonfire. And the entire world tuned in. So here, where hip-hop divided, reputations bruised, legacies shaken, and fans left in suspense. The saga of 50 vs. Big Meech's legacy isn't over. It's just paused. Because if history has taught us anything, it's that when 50 Cent is involved, there's always a sequel. And when that next chapter drops, believe me, the culture will be watching, popcorn in hand. And there you have it. Folks, a showdown nobody saw coming, but everybody secretly wanted. 50 Cent just dragged Big Meech's legacy through the mud, roasted Lil Meech like a Thanksgiving turkey, and turned hip-hop into a three-ring circus. You can close your mouth now, I know it's been hanging open this whole time. But let me ask you this. Whose side are you on? Are you riding with 50, the undisputed king of clapbacks who treats Instagram like his personal WWE ring? Or are you standing with the Meech legacy, defending the crown of BM from 50's endless trolling? Drop your hot takes in the comments like they're mixtapes in 2003. Because trust me, I'm reading them, roasting them, and probably laughing way too hard. And don't even think about ghost watching this channel. Hit that subscribe button like you're throwing hands at the club. Smash that like button like it owes you child support. And ring that bell so hard your neighbors file a noise complaint. Why? Because scandals like this don't knock politely, they kick the door down. And here at Truth Tattle, we're serving them hot, messy, and extra dramatic every single time. Remember, this channel doesn't do boring. While the rest of the internet is sipping tea, we're spilling the entire gallon, breaking mugs, and setting the table on fire. So buckle in, because if you think this 50 vs. Meech saga was wild, just wait for the next bombshell. Hip-hop doesn't sleep, and neither do the scandals. This is Truth Tattle signing off, the only place where the mess gets messier, the shade gets darker, and the truth, well, it always tattle.